What's up, YouTube boys? It's your boy Halucha Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee. I'm back with another AEW breakdown. Of course, is my All Elite address, where you already know I talk about the wrestlers, I talk about AEW, I talk about the good stuff, I talk about the bad stuff. What's going to happen next? You already know what it is. Uh, Before I get started, of course, like, comment, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. Hit it with a thumbs up. Hit it with a thumbs down if you don't like it. Hey, tell me what I tell me what you don't like, what I need to improve on. I know I gotta learn how to edit, but it be like that sometimes. I'm gonna get right into it. I have, of course, as always, my handy dandy notebook. It looks a little long, but it's not. It's not really that. It's not that long actually. But of course, this week we're in our business of your four matches, your four matches, qualifying matches, and the winners will face each other. Hangman Page, Kenny Omega at Full Gear, and the winner, Kenny Omega, will face the winner of Moxley versus Eddie Kingston, Mox, for the AEW World Champion, Kenny versus Mox. So, with that said, this of course is your All Elite address. The good, the bad, and the musical. Let's talk about it. So, as I said, of course, there's qualifying matches for this AEW World Championship match, and the winner of this match, Kenny Omega, will face the eventual winner of the match at Full Gear, John Moxley. So the first match we have is Wardlow versus Jungle Boy. Uh, this match is your basic big man versus little man match, of course. Cat and mouse. Big guy beats up on little guy who is Jungle Boy in this instance, finds all his clever ways to try to get one up on the big man. And big man Warlow uses his strength and his power. He did use some athleticism. He had got knocked down by Jungle Boy, and he did like a nice nip up to nip himself back up. And then he goes to kind of do the F10 is like a F5, but he like throws his opponent in the air and he like spins around a couple times before he lands on the floor. He tried to do that to Jungle Boy on the top rope, but Jungle Boy reversed it into like he threw him up in the air and he like reversed into a Rana. That was pretty dope. That was pretty dope to see. And then he went on the outside, and then Borlo caught him F10 when he was outside inside the ring, and then he did another nice one inside the ring for the win. This match was decent enough. Like I said, big man versus little man type matches. They're always good. They're always intriguing, and I think they announced that Wardlow was like 8-1 or something like that, or 9-1 or something like that. The only one-on-one match he lost was against Cody, and that was his first match in AEW. He's gonna lose again next week to Hangman Page, but we'll get to that thing later. Um, after that, they showed like a little segment thing that happened between Mox and Eddie Kingston and Pentagon and Phoenix after the air showed. I'm guessing it was pretty much Eddie Kingston yelling at Mox, doing this excellent promo about you know, again, John Moxley took his ball or his talents, as they say, and went to perform in the WWE while him and his people like they starved and they were left behind and all of the stuff. You can tell him to look at the Pretty Platinum. I think they call it Pretty Platinum, Pretty Silver, or something like that. He said, "Take a good look at it because you'll never see this again after I'm done with you," and stuff like that. So fantastic stuff from him. And then we get an actual promo from Mox, which again very good. Uh, Mox was pretty much was saying, "Yeah, sorry, um, I'm not gonna apologize for making a better life for myself, buying my mom a house, or taking care of my mom, taking care of my family." Because like me and Eddie, we were best friends. I knew that guy better than anybody. He's like, this guy right here, I don't know who he is. Um, Like we used to be best friends, but he's changed. He's become more manipulative. He's become more evil, more like dirty and all like all that type of like all this negative stuff like that. He said, but at he's like, yeah, you're right. You never said you never tapped out. You never quit. But in this match, I'm going to make sure that you do. He's like, I'm either gonna beat the best friend. I'm gonna either beat my best friend back into existence, or I'm gonna, I guess, implied that he's gonna kill him or something. So that was good stuff. Um, Next up is Sonny Kiss versus John Moxley. Sonny Kiss versus Kenny Omega. Um, Joey Janela, I think he wrestled somebody in a previous show, in a previous promotion, and I think the guy that he wrestled maybe had COVID, so Joey Janela had to drop out of this match. So just to quarantine himself for 2 weeks. So Sonny Kiss instead took this match. Omega comes out. The entrance is ridiculous. Um, Justin Roberts is on is commentating on the match. He gives Kenny Omega all these accolades. He's your triple A mega champion, uh, uh, multiple time Japan champion. Traveled all over the world. I think he randomly mentioned that he also traveled to North Carolina. He's traveled to North Carolina. He gave him all these accolades, and then all this like New York City cleaner type Kenny Omega music came out, and then his regular music came out, and then these ladies with brooms started doing this stupid sweep dance thing, and they were dancing, and they had this axe, and then he came out, he pointed at them, and then yeah, it was long. It was like 5 minutes for no reason. It was so long and over the top. It was hilarious. And then he goes in the ring. Him and Sonny Kiss do a little bow thing. The bell rings. Knees him in the face. One wing angel. The match is over. It's so great. The match lasted like 10 seconds, but the entrance was like 5 minutes long. It was hilarious. And then he does this condescending. She did. Hey, he did good. He did this like weird awkward hug. It's like yeah, yeah, and he just walks in the back. Hilarious. Um, Next up, Orange Cassidy has an interview. Somewhat talked about the match last week. He said sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. And then Tony said, "So what can you expect like next week in your match?" He said, "I can't wait to be in like Washington or something like that." He said, "We're gonna be here." He says, "Whatever." That was it. And then Cody and Arn has an interview with Dasha. Uh, Cody said he expected them to have a match, but he didn't expect the higher ups to give him a match so quickly, which doesn't make sense to me because Cody is a higher up. He is like the EVP. I think they pretty much mention that all the time that he's the EVP. So I'm pretty sure he's one of the guys that's higher up that said, "Hey, we should have this match in 2 weeks." So yeah. Anyways, he pretty much like said that he couldn't beat him last week with the time limit draw. That he doesn't think he's gonna beat him next week either. But he said that he's here to be EVP and watch the tournament because he can't because he's not allowed to be world champion ever in his life. And I think Dasha asked him about something about bulking up. He said there's been big guys, that he's beaten, and I guess he's like the Beast Slayer or Monster Slayer, something like that. And he said that he needs to beef get beef up to move up in the heavy ranks because it's a lot of bunch of lightweights. Uh, Next up, Phoenix versus Penta. With Eddie on commentary. Before that, Eddie does his rebuttal promo against Mox from what he said earlier, which of course is fantastic. Pretty much said, yeah, I I'm not the same. I'm different. I'm a sellout. I'm a scum of the earth. All this horrible things to himself. He's like, yeah, you know why? He's like, I can't even look at myself. I don't even like the way I become. But you know why I did it? Because I tried playing the nice guy, and playing the nice guy clearly doesn't work. He said, we were supposed to be family. We were supposed to be all this things and you left us the entertainment. But you know what? I'm gonna send you back to the I'm gonna beat you so bad. I'm gonna send you back to the entertainment. He's like, I've never quit. I never said the word I quit. I never will say the word I quit. He said, in order for you to make me say that, you're gonna have to make me go to a deep dark place. And guess what? Fantastic. Uh, Also fantastic. Phoenix versus Penta. This match was amazing. There was a couple scary spots because Phoenix just likes being like Will Ospreay and Ricochet. They just like having scary spots for whatever reason. Um, at first, they were doing their little technical stuff. And then after that, they were doing some chop offs and stuff like that, which was great. They were being all dramatic. They was chopping each other, and it was like, and then they would chop them back. Good stuff. Phoenix did this one thing where he was going on the ropes, and then like Penta, who's not El Pentagon Jr., he's like Penta Mero, Cero, Mero, something like that. He pushed him, his like whole face like hit the ropes, and then he was attacking his face bone the whole time. There was a spot where Phoenix was gonna do his like on like the outside of the apron, he's gonna do his handstand, and think he was gonna do like a hurricanrana, but Penta kicked him in the face. That was good stuff. But it got a little scary towards like the middle where they were at the top rope, and Phoenix was gonna like do like a reverse hurricanrana type thing. And then when Phoenix did it, he landed straight on his head, and he looked like a little loopy. It was like really really scary. And you could tell he was talking to Aubrey Edwards for a little minute, and then he was talking to Penta. Penta was like, of course, very gingerly with his little brother, and he gave him like the softest DDTs I've ever seen in my whole life. But I guess they picked it up a little bit because like maybe a minute after, Phoenix hit a big super kick. He did a Spanish fly, like he did some crazy Spanish fly. Um, Penta hit him with like Phoenix went to do like this big senton, and like he picked, and then like Penta had him up in the air and did like a power bomb that was fantastic. And then towards to end the match, it was Penta broke his arm, broke his brother's arm, of course, and then he went to do something to him, but Phoenix caught him in like a tilt-a-whirl, caught him in like a tilt-a-whirl um, Canadian destroyer for the 1, 2, 3, and he wins. That was fantastic. It was amazing. I loved it. A little scary in that middle part. I'm pretty sure it could have been even better, but they tried to be like a little safe towards that middle after he like landed on his head, straight on his head. After that tilt a whirl. But this was good stuff. Oh, next week Kenny Omega versus Ray Phoenix. I wonder who's gonna win that. Kenny Omega, but that match is gonna be fire, fire. Next up, I think Kip Sabian with Miro and Best Friends are still fighting over a video game. Um, Colt had an interview with Colt, Silver, and Reynolds had an interview, which was fantastic. Uh, 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 John Silver is literally my favorite guy ever. He's so great, and like on BTE, he's so great. Uh, Colt was talking about them being all like friends and stuff like that, and Silver Reynolds was looking at each other like, we ain't friends. Like, what are you smoking? And then Silver got all like jacked up, and he was like, we don't like you, but we're gonna be world champion. We're gonna be tag team champions. Cody's gonna be or Mr. Brody's gonna be TNT champion again. We're all gonna rule it. He was yeah. Got fired up. Colt looked at him. Colt and Reynolds just looked at each other. Looked at him. Was like, I got a match. Reynolds was like, I'm gonna, I don't know, calm him down or something. And walked away. It was great. I loved it. Again, Cole versus Page was next. Of course, I love Page's Hangman Page's little title things, which this week was enter the tournament in a series of drunken voicemails. Hilarious. Um, this match was not like the Kenny Omega match, who that match was very short. This match instead went a little too long for my liking. Um, it was good, but it was like I felt like no offense to Cole, I love me some Cole Cabana, but man, he got a lot of offense in this match. Like it was like really back and forth. Like at first it was like Page was like he was doing his thing, he was getting upper hand, he was reversing some stuff, but like yeah, it got to the 10-minute mark and I was like, wow, this match is still happening. I think it went like 16, 17 minutes. Um, but towards the end, Evil Uno was out there, cheering Code on. Um, Page was going for like a couple of buckshot lariats. Colt hit his little his run of Superman for a close two. Uh, Colt or not Colt. Page tried to do his Superman, his buck lariat. Colt wasn't having it. He tried to do it again, wasn't having it, and then he finally did it. He faked him out for it. He ducked, faked him out. Boom, buckshot lariat for three. They did mention that Colt, since he joined Dark Order, was undefeated in singles matches, and Hangman beat him like he's gonna beat Warlow next week. And then Dark Order came out and they helped out Colt Cabana, which was nice. Uh, Sammy had a short package, short package from last week that he's the one that attacked Matt Hardy. It was him. It was him all along. Team Taz also had a segment. They were just pretty much talking about they had one against Will Hobbs who didn't answer his phone calls yet. He's like, you got to do it because I'll sick Cage on you. And Cage like, you know what happens when you do that to me when you answer to me, stuff like that. And then he was mad about Darby Allin getting the title shot. He said, you know it something. He said it burns his ass that Darby Allin is having a title shot. He was like, Tony Khan brought me in the office. He was like, if Ricky Starks would have beat Darby Allin, it would have been him that would be facing the winner, Cody, at Full Gear. He was like, yeah, of course. And then um, it was like, why? It was like, why does Darby Allin get a shot? It's like, because he beat Ricky Stark. They just said because he beat him for the title. Anyways, Ricky Starks, of course, cuts great promo. Said it's not going to be over until he says it's over. Um, yeah, it was good stuff. Ricky Starks is the best. I love Ricky Starks. Um, so their feud, I guess, is going to continue. Maybe Darby Allin ends up winning. He probably won't. And then maybe they do feud with that, and then Ricky Starks is TNT champion. And he deserves to be champion. Next up, is the talk of the town, the the Dinner de Janeiro. Which turned into La Musica de Janeiro. This was hilarious. They start off by talking about pretty much that they wanted like their stakes. They kept MJF kept messing up the lady's name. I think it was like uh, I don't remember. I think it was like I don't remember. I'm not going to say it, but he kept messing up the lady's name, and he was saying that he wants a steak that well done steak, A1 with a baked potato. Jeff goes, let me get one of those steaks things right there with a baked potato, but let me get mine medium rare or medium well done. MJF was like, huh, my bad. Did I say? Scratch that. Uh, I would like my steak that I said before, yeah, with my baked potato, yeah, yeah, yeah. I would like that medium. Jericho said, "Excuse me, ma'am. Hey, yeah, right here. Uh, steak that I want, yeah, yeah. Baked potato, medium rare." And MJ was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. That you know what you wrote for me? Yeah, cross that out. Steak A1, like I like it. Baked potato, make it rare. Yeah, yeah. Chris Jericho's like, mm, yeah, yeah, no, no, no. What you did when you wrote down the thing for me, yeah, that was great. Scratch that all off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The steak that I want, yeah, yeah. Baked potato. I want it blue. Just give it to me blue, all raw and rare. Yep, thank you. We out. She leaves. and they was like, "Oh, what are we doing? Come on, we're gonna be great together." Jericho mentions this town hall meeting, whatever. They said that they make fun of like Orange Cassidy, and then they break into this hilarious musical, which I enjoyed. I like silly stuff like that, even if like WWE, like people would, some people liked it, and a lot of people was like, "Oh, if WWE would have did it, people would have complained," uh, which probably might be true. Um, and then some people also was like, "Oh, well, WWE does stuff like that like all the time." It's like, but nobody complains about WWE. And sometimes WWE with like the funny stuff, like sometimes they hit and sometimes they miss. This was a big rush for them to do that with like MJF, who is probably like one of their top guys. Clearly, that he was like lipping, like he was mouth. I heard him mouthing like a lot of the words. Maybe that was him singing, but he was definitely mouthing a lot of them. But this was still great. I still loved it. It was just fun. Um, and yeah, it was great. I loved it. Um, Next up, Britt Baker versus Kailyn King. Kailyn King. Um, Decent match. I like Kailyn King. I think she's great. Give her a couple more W's in dark. By the way, look at that. But anyways, yeah, just give her a couple more matches. Like she's very technically sound. Britt Baker's gone like she's like very much showed her growth in like the last year that she's been in AEW. Of course, Adam Cole, one of the best wrestlers in the world, probably been learning a little bit from him. But yeah, she was mean. She was doing some nice reversals. She hit a curb stomp. She hit like a nasty Sister Abigail. Yeah, she was killing it. And then at the end, she hit her with the mandible claw. Good stuff. I enjoyed that. They final main event is the tag team match. Before that, for next week, they announced Hangman Page versus Wardlow. Hangman Page is gonna win. Kenny Omega versus Phoenix. Hangman Page and Kenny's gonna face each other. Uh, Ty Conti versus Abaddon. And I think they announced they mentioned that Abaddon was like ranked number three. I think it was Abaddon or Ty Conti. One I think it was Abaddon was ranked number three in the women's divisions. Good for her. Cody versus Orange Cassidy in a lumberjack match for the title. Um, in, in town hall meeting, will MJF be in inner circle? So this match next week is gonna be a little interesting because you would think that of course Cody's gonna win. He's gonna face Darby Allin and whatever. But with this lumberjack match with Dark Order, like I can see like something crazy happening, and maybe like Brody comes back, and then Darby Allin comes back, and maybe I can see them maybe doing a fatal four way if they don't do Cody versus Darby Allin. Uh, just one on one, I could see them doing like a fatal four way. It happen all four of them because Orange Cassidy is like super over, Brody Lee is super over, and if you just want them in like a tag, like a pay per view type match, I can see that they doing that. And then they also announced that at Full Gear, Mox versus Eddie Kingston will be an I Quit match. FTR is going to face the winner of this Fatal Four Way, Young Bucks. Um, Kenny's gonna. Oh, they didn't announce this, but it's gonna be Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page. Uh, Matt versus Sammy Guevara in an All Elite deletion match, and I put Darby Allin versus Cody, maybe Orange Cassidy, and maybe Brody Lee in that Fatal Four Way match. Nothing for the women's yet, but that's gonna be interesting. So yeah, final match. The oh, and they had Steve-O there from Jackass. With Darby Allin, and he was in a body bag and he rolled out of the body bag. Yep. Yep. Fatal four way match, tag team match. FTR. Ooh, that was loud. FTR was on commentary. Um, Match was fun. The tag team division is very good. Uh, yeah, they're four of the few best wrestler or tag teams in AEW. Uh, I don't, there's really not a lot to say. There was a weird thing that during the picture in picture, the Jackson, not the Jacksons, Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara was just like brawling randomly. That was weird. I was like looking at my phone a little bit when it was in picture in picture. I looked up and I just saw like someone like in a black shirt fighting, and I was looking, I was like, who is that? And I rewind, I hit the rewind button. I was like, that Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara. I was like, what are they doing? They're just fighting. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, there's a lot of the stuff is. Oh, and they also for some random reason they mentioned that the bunny was back with Butcher and the Blade, which is like so random. Like they didn't even explain why. They didn't. No story. There's just. I mean, to be fair, Ali was randomly just with QT Marshall without an explanation, so I guess they just randomly go back to the Butcher and the Blade without an explanation. So I assume that they're gonna feud together. They're gonna have a feud over Ali. Maybe they might explain what in the world that was about. Um, they did a lot of Private Party, Young Bucks, like a lot of the stuff that they've done in the past. Like last week, they did they shake hands. They did their handshake, and then Bucks super kicked them. Did the same thing this time, except they tried to do it again, but this time Private Party super kicked them. Um, they pretty much was like breaking up a lot of the pins that was going in there. When they went to do, they did this one cool spot where they had Mark Quinn laying on the floor, and then they had the Butcher, and they went to do like the Meltzer driver, and they did the Meltzer driver and the senton at the same time. That was cool stuff. Uh, the ending of the match, of course, goes back to Private Party in their first encounter where they snuck up a roll up pin on them, but Matt reversed it into a pin of himself for the 1, 2, 3. I really wanted Dark Order to win. I ain't gonna hold you. Alex Reynolds and John Silver is great. I think Silver Reynolds got injured a little bit. By the way, I also didn't know they were 3 and 4. I didn't know that. I think Evil Uno's 1 maybe, and Stu Grayson is 2. I guess they're 3 and 4. So I didn't know that, or maybe yeah, I think that's what it is. But yeah, it was a decent match. I wasn't mad at it. At the end, FTR comes down. They offer him a beer. Young Bucks say, "No, get that beer out of here." And then a cameraman hits him in the back of the chair. And I was like, "Oh my god, who's that?" And then they went up and they gave him a pile driver. I was like, "Is this Sean Spears?" I was like, "Okay, we're about to be out here." And then they put a chair on the other Bucks' back. And then he revealed himself. It was Tully. I was like, "Yo, Tully." I was like, "Oh well, those are small arms compared to Sean Spears." But I was like, "Okay, you got Tully out here doing spiked pile drivers." I was like, "Nah, yes, I like it. I like it." And yeah, that ended it. To be fair, like they did offer them a drink, and the Bucks did like just slap it out their hands instead of just saying no, we don't drink. Just slap it out their hands. Like, why would you do that? It was the same thing with Kenny Omega. They offered him a drink. He was like, yeah, and just poured it. Like, why are you wasting beer? Um, so I don't know if the Bucks are going to be faces again, even though they were acting heelish. I don't know. It's really weird, but I don't think they're gonna win yet because I think they're gonna like go deep within themselves to be like, all right, this is not the way we gotta be. We gotta be old young bucks, the fiery young bucks. Because there's no way they're about to be heel against heel. So yeah. Um, all in all, decent show. I'd give it I'd give it about an A-. The matches were good. There's nothing wrong with the matches. There's nothing wrong with the segments. Couple scary spots with that Phoenix with Phoenix. I love that Kenny Omega just beat Sonny in like half a minute, like 5 seconds. That was great. Um, yeah, no, it was good. That's nice. No, B plus or A-, 1 or 2. Ask me again tomorrow. I might change my mind. But yeah, that was AEW Dynamite. Let me know what you guys think in the next one. I'll see you guys then. I'm out.